Okay, welcome to podcast number 2 of Run Good Lifestyle, the Sportsbook edition. And hello, welcome, Sam. How are you?
Oh, we're not live yet, are we?
We are live.
I didn't do my hair.
I can tell. Must be cold in Ohio.
It is.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me get into a better place. I got too much going on. I thought we were just testing it now. Hang on one sec.
Well, I didn't know how to test it without going live, so I've been working at it. So we're just going to.
Well, I know you have a lot of friends that are going to be on this watching live, so they won't get out until 6, right?
Correct. That's what I'm hoping. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit just about.
Okay, give me a few minutes. Right. Let me get in my office.
All right, can't wait. Ready to be added. Oh wow! Change slips and everything. Did you hear the music?
Yes, I can. Am I showing too much allegiance here? This is not a marijuana plant.
Well, welcome to the show, Sam.
Well, thank you.
Crowd goes crazy for Sam. Demi the ball.
Find a good background here. That's obviously not your house in the background, right, Alan?
Oh, it is.
I didn't know you played the piano.
They call me Johnny Be Good. Oh, wait, that's Johnny Be Good. He played the guitar. Maybe it was Beethoven. I'm not sure.
Beethoven was not bad.
So if you wanted to share your screen, I think you can.
Haven't gotten that far. I don't think I'm going to have anything to share today. I tried to do
Okay.
some last minute research, which kind of took me away from like the whole uh, sharing screen thing. So I'm not going to be ready or prepared, but I think that's okay because we want to keep this engaging and don't want to, keep it too long for the audience.
Right. I concur. Totally agree.
I can share my screen though. I see that option right here.
Oh, good. Good.
I am just hey, how did you change your background? Do you remember where to go?
In settings,
I don't even see settings. Let's see.
like,
Visual effects?
yes.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Let's try. All right.
Don't use the
So,
same one as me, please.
okay, I'm just going to be behind a brick wall. I actually have a few good ones. Let me look.
So there's 2 viewers. We had 2 viewers, but we left.
Oh shoot! I didn't mean to hold it up. I didn't think we're going to truly start it until 6. But
No, I was hoping it was one of Jared or Jake because I want to see if my mic is working correctly and if we can be heard. There's one person that just has joined. Welcome.
welcome.
And put in the comments if you can hear us fine and everything is good. We're not really starting till 6, but we're trying to make sure everything's up and running.
Is there any drawback of starting before 6, Al? Or in other words, are there people that are waiting to get on at 6?
No, we can start. We can start now. Basically, welcome to the second episode of Run Good Lifestyle, the Sportsbook edition. We're going to be really focusing today on college football. And Sam and I are just going to talk a little bit about some observations that we've made in these few weeks prior and last week. And then we're going to go into our 5 most prominent games and just go over their the spreads and some just point out some of the obvious things about these teams and maybe some unobvious things. And then at the end, Sim and I are going to pick those 5 games against the spread, and we're going to be doing this every week. And not sure if it's going to always be 5 games, and then we'll. I'm sure Sam has a little side bet for me. So with that, Sam, I'll let you start us off with anything you want to put out there on what your observations have been so far in the college game.
Sure. Well, to your point, it's not fun if we don't have a side bet about something. So
Yeah,
we always have to make it interesting.
absolutely.
And just to dovetail onto the introduction, Alan, thank you for having me. And for those of you that are listening, thank you for being here. And please put anything in the comments that you feel may be beneficial, that you'd like to hear, that maybe we're not addressing. Or on the flip side of that, if there's something that you like that we're doing, please let us know so we can continue to do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, great. Yes. Always focus on the negative, but I'm sure we can find some things that we're doing well.
Sure. At least one, please. And if not, lie to us.
Agreed.
College football, Al. That's my second favorite sport. And it's probably the second sport that I'm most knowledgeable in. I listen to podcasts throughout the week. I like to listen to a wide variety of podcasts and then just formulate my own opinions based off of what I hear from others. So again, I love this time of year. I don't like that it gets dark at 5 or 6 o'clock. I don't like the cold, but what I do like is a combination of college football, college wrestling, which is my number one sport, and even NHL hockey, which you see I have the Blue Jackets hat on there. They're playing tonight after winning yesterday. So I've got to support.
Yeah, I had in my when I sent out the invitations to the different social medias that we may be touching on some of your hockey expertise. I forgot about the wrestling. Sam was a really a great high school wrestler, and I won't go into all the details, but I always call him a state champion, even though he was second place.
He likes to dig, and I'm so far removed from it. It's actually funny. Alan tends to be funny when he tries not to be.
Yeah,
When he
I'm a
tries to
funny
be
guy.
funny, it's a different story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, runner up is quite an accomplishment. I was never runner up at anything. So, I mean, it's a great accomplishment. Maybe that's why I like busting on you a little bit, but
Well, it's first loser.
well, you've had to beat a lot of people to get there. So,
So to try to keep this on track, to answer your question, you asked me about thoughts of the college football season. I'm going to dovetail off of the first episode you had with Jake and Jared on. You made a comment that stuck with me, and that comment is this: that we are far enough along into the season. I think you were mentioning about NFL, which, by the way, is not my passion.
Right.
Simply because I'm a Browns fan and my Sundays are miserable as a result of being a Browns fan.
I'm with you, brother.
Yeah. But I think we're far enough into the season to know who's who, and we can make our analysis, and we have at least a good sample size to make predictions, make analyses, and have our own opinions on who we think is the best team or the better teams out there. So that one stuck with me, Al. I have something, maybe it's on topic for college football. I want to get your opinion and maybe some of the listeners' opinion.
Sure.
A few weeks ago, Georgia played Auburn, and it was a miserable game for Georgia in the first half. I think they had like 50 yards of rushing in the first half.
Right.
There were some shady calls, in my opinion. That's not what I have. That's not what I have the question about. Georgia wound up winning that game because they dominated the second half, even though they got dominated by Auburn in the first half. But there was a time in the game when Kirby Smart called a timeout. And then he went back on it and said, I didn't call the timeout. And the refs honored that. Again, something minor in nature, but the fact that he went back to the refs and said, no, I didn't call a timeout. And the analysts on TV, I don't remember exactly what they said, but it was clear and concise that there was a timeout called. And the fact that Kirby went back after the fact and said, I didn't call the timeout, and they honored it, for lack of better term, is that a scumbag move?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it, so it's really hard for me to say one way or the other. But obviously, if he did call the timeout and he knew he called the timeout, I would say yes. I think very few other coaches are going to get away with doing something like that. And maybe there was some more to it that you and I don't know. Maybe the referees saw something that even the announcers didn't see. So I don't know. Didn't the referees get didn't the head referee get suspended after that for that game because of the way that game was officiated? Was it that game or a different one?
It wouldn't. So I don't know the answer to that. It would not surprise me because there was some really, really bad calls.
Yeah, I heard there were some egregious calls, and if I'm not mistaken, that head referee was the same referee that did the Clemson Ohio State playoff game that we had there were some questionable calls in that one too. I'm not saying that's why we lost, but I forget the particulars, but I remember there was two big calls that went against us that affected the game. So
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I don't, but I read that somewhere, and I thought that's where you were going with it, but I didn't see the timeout situation.
Scumbag saying is probably not as accurate as I should be, and I said for lack of better term.
Yeah, that was
Bush
a little
League
harsh.
maybe better. Like you're right, Alan. We don't know
Bush
the
League.
exact situation, so when we give our commentary and our opinions on certain things, and I'll flat out tell you, my least favorite person in college football is, other than anything related to Michigan, because we're Ohio State fans,
Right.
is Brian Kelly. And
Oh, really?
I have a lot of bad things to say in terms that I would use that are bad, but like you said, I try to be fair, balanced. I don't know the exact situation. I don't know Brian's, situation, but I just hear he is horrible to his staff. He didn't embrace
Yeah.
LSU when he first came in. I just think there's just a lot of downward spiral that happened since the fake accent when he first started. If anyone remembers that.
Well, yeah, I remember that. And I'll tell you, I lost a lot of respect. I don't know if you remember when I think it was the video recorder guy that was
I can't believe you're saying this, because this is where I have my loss of respect for him too.
Yeah,
And we've never shared this story, but go on.
Yeah, when there was a lightning strike and a college kid died, and there was never really any recourse for that. And I'm not saying that he's responsible for his death, but he's responsible for people being out in the weather, and there should have been some kind of punishment. I just felt that was swept under the table, and he didn't. I just felt he just didn't handle that the way I would expect them to handle it if it was my son or daughter. I think it was a young man, but yeah, after that, I sort of lost all respect for him. And I think just watching his teams play, I mean, early when he was at Cincinnati, I just thought, man, they played really hard for him, and they really sold out. When I watched that LSU team, that I felt like, man, that was a complete opposite. There was no respect for the coaching, no respect for the game, and that's a direct reflection of the coach, in my opinion.
A couple of statements there, and you hit on all of them that I would have hit on, or at least most of them. I heard the LSU folks brought in some staff for him to help him out, and he treated those folks like garbage.
Really?
And that's part of the not embracing the LSU way of doing things. At the end of the day, they say, is it a right fit or not? Sure. But if you win games, I think it's going to be winning cures a lot.
Sure does.
And he won more than he lost, but he didn't reach the expectation level that the LSU folks had for him.
Sure.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. And that's why he's gone. But I will want to say one other thing. I was a coworker during that time of the video going on the practice at Notre Dame, and when that person lost his life, unfortunately, during that practice because of the bad weather. My coworker's son was a very prominent linebacker at the time. I'm not going to name the name. And what my coworker had told me was that Brian Kelly cares about himself. And my coworker's son was a defensive player. Brian Kelly never addressed the defense once, never acted like he even knew them.
Wow.
And I obviously, if he's an offensive-minded guy, I get it. But when you're the head coach, shouldn't you be bringing those synergies together with your offense, your defense, and your special teams?
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show. I mean, leadership is about pulling people together and leading the team, not just the offense. This leading the team, and I'm talking about from the janitor to the number one quarterback. I mean, they're all part of the team. And if you treat the janitor worse than you treat the number one quarterback, then it's just hard to really be on board and have a lot of respect for that. But oh well. I'm glad to see he's gone.
I can start liking LSU again. I don't really have an SEC team other than bad ones like Kentucky that I root for. So
right.
LSU because of the Joe Burrow
Right.
factor.
They were easy to root for back then.
Yeah.
Plus
Yeah.
the Ed Aragon or whatever his name was. Orgeron. He's, he was just every man's man, he just, I liked him. Unfortunately, I don't think he was a great X's and O's guy, but
I hear he had some indiscretions with other women that were part of the team while he was married, and that was one of the things that let him. And he won a national championship.
Yeah. The success maybe got into his head or something. Who knows?
Yeah. By the way, side note, I read an article the other day that he expressed interest in being some type of consultant / coach at the Ohio State University.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
at Orgeron.
Yeah. I'll tell you, say what you want about Ryan Day, but man, he's an exact opposite, I think, of Brian Kelly. I mean, he is a leader of all leaders, and the fact that he puts his ego aside and brings these big name coaches in without fear of them upscaling him, I just think just shows a lot of confidence. I would never see Urban Meyer doing anything like that, because he was the man.
Sure.
Much as I liked Urban and what he did for Ohio State football, I can't say enough good things about Ryan Day. So
I concur. I think we can have our own segment on Ryan Day, because I have a lot to say in a positive way. How he treats the kids, how he cares more about just football, and he cares about their livelihood after football, and he molds them into men, and many do. But he's got some other philosophies, coming from a wrestling background for myself, that is, in my opinion, spot on. And we can get into that at a later time, but we're 22 minutes in. I don't know when we went live, and I know we had some, trial and errors with this. So did you want to move on, or how do you want to?
Let's come on. We're going to basically talk about, we picked 5 games that, we feel are not the top 5 games. I know there's a lot of games out there, but we could only pick 5. So these are the 5 teams or 5 games we're going to be discussing. Obviously, Ohio State, Penn State, Texas, Vandy, Miami, SMU, Georgia, Florida, and Indiana and Maryland. And at the end, like I said, Sam and I will be doing our picks, and we will get into that. But first, Ohio State. Obviously, they're undefeated. They have a dominant defense. Penn State, on the other hand, has struggled. They lost their coach. They lost their starting quarterback. This used to be a marquee rivalry. I call it a rivalry, but we seem to always kick their ass. So it's hard to be a rivalry when it's one-sided. But now the gap between these two programs seems to be super wide.
Agreed. Can I make a comment on that?
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to stop there and let you take the floor for a while.
So I was hoping that Penn State would come into the horseshoe undefeated, and this game would be a number 1 versus number 2 matchup. Not quite reality right now. Oregon had something to say about that.
Yeah.
So did UCLA.
Northwestern.
Northwestern had something to say about it.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. Yeah, they are skidding. But that's the kind of game that this is the kind of game that it can sneak up on you too. I mean, I don't think we're going to have an issue with it, but you better be prepared, because there's still Division I athletes over there that were predicted pretty high up there to begin with. But Ohio State's favored by 20.5 points. I think the over-under is 44 points. I think we can score 44 points ourselves. So, I mean, our defense has only allowed, I think, 6 points a game. So, I mean, this spread seems high, but we can talk about that later. But yeah,
let's talk about the Penn State positives.
Well, I mean, Penn State.
That was a joke. I have nothing.
Well, I mean, Penn State. They had a top five. Maybe not top five, but they had one of the top recruiting classes a couple years ago. I want to say top five, and those, for the most part, those people are all still there. So, they have talent. So, unfortunately, it's just not being utilized, obviously.
Yeah. So the spread is 20.5 is what you said, Al?
Yep.
Do you want me to go ahead and make this pick first?
No, we're gonna do the picks at the end. The next game we got is the Texas Longhorns and the Vanderbilt Commodores. This is an intriguing game for me. We talked a little bit about the Arch Manning and how a little bit, I know you feel this way, they're a little overrated. They come in at, I saw two lines. One was 1.5 and the other one was 2.5. So I'm using a 2.5 line.
Who's favored?
Texas is favored by 2.5.
You sure about that?
That's what it says.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh yeah. Texas minus 2.5.
Minus. So Texas is the underdog. No, I'm sorry. Texas is giving. They are the favorite.
And this is a good. Hey, now this is a very good point, and something we should have said. This is for entertainment purposes only.
For some reason, I was thinking Texas was the underdog. I had that in my mind.
You had me almost questioning myself. I was like, wait a minute, am I right? Yeah, so they're 2.5 point favorites. They're at home.
Okay, so this is these particular teams are I'm a believer of one team and a non-believer of the other. And so far this season, I've been proven wrong by both teams. Texas, I wanted to be such a believer for most of this year. I just keep waiting on them to snap out of it. And the truth is, their offense is just bad.
Yeah, their defense is top tier. Unfortunately, the Arch Manning juggernaut, I just don't see. I know it's still. I keep saying it's still early. I know he's young, but not what I don't know if it's not being put in the right position to succeed, or he's just not seeing the field. When you look at Julian Sane, for example, it's his first year, and then you look at him, it just doesn't. There's no comparison as far as accuracy and seeing the field. Do we have better athletes? I don't. I mean, I think so at wide receiver for sure, but I just don't see. He's missing wide open receivers a lot of times. Not that he had to even fit him into tight windows. So.
Yep. I gotta say that Vanderbilt quarterback's the real deal. I think he's like a top 5 in the Heisman running right now. Diego Pavia. Very, very good quarterback according to the experts.
Yeah, that last game. Did you watch the game last week with Missouri?
I did, and when the Missouri quarterback went down, I thought that's when they were going to just steamroll, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. That injury. I think if it doesn't happen, I think Missouri wins that game.
Very well could have.
So this game is so intriguing. I mean, on one side, Vanderbilt has played pretty well, and Missouri looked to me like the real deal. So, and their defense anyway, and I don't know which way to go. So that'll be interesting to see. And
hey, here's another tidbit for this game. Arch Manning is in the concussion protocol right now.
Oh, that's right. It's in my notes. I did see that possible injury. I don't even know who their backup is.
I wrote his name down. Matthew Caldwell. He's from Gardner-Webb, and I think he played a little bit at Iowa, but he's going to get the majority of snaps this week in practice. He's also a
Well,
mobile quarterback. I don't know if their game plan is much different. I'm sure that Sark will shrink that playbook down a little bit for him, but he played in the game last week when Texas went into overtime and won, being down 17, by the way. Arch went down and he had a really good drive.
really?
That one drive to win him the game.
Yeah, that's promising.
They
Well,
also played a game where Arch got knocked out for a little while, if not if not for the whole game, and he went ahead and it was against Florida. They lost against Florida, but I think he went ahead to have a pretty good drive against Florida. And we're going to get to them in a little while here, but Florida's got a very good defense.
Yeah. Well, again, it's super intriguing. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I like the under in this game. I know we're going to pick the winner against the spread, but I think the under in this game is the play. It's like 44.5 or 45.5.
I'll say one last thing, Al, in terms of the lineups or the matchups this week. There's no great top 10 matchup by any means, but this is a top 20 matchup.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you look at Ohio State, Penn State, historically, maybe a good matchup, but just not this week.
Sure looked like at the beginning of the season.
One of the better games, and I'm looking forward. You use the word intriguing. I'm just looking forward to this matchup as well.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Next game we have is the Hurricanes and the Mustangs. Miami against SMU. Miami's a 12.5 point favorite. I thought I had them at 11.5. I think they're 11.5.
Yeah, and it's going to change between now and game time anyway.
Right. I mean, they've got a hell of a roster, and I really at the beginning of the season picked them to be a national championship caliber team. I know they've had some struggles, but I still think they have a lot of talent and definitely a team to be reckoned with. So I don't know much about their offensive production. I thought it was supposed to be really like high flying, but I don't think we've seen that.
It depends on which Carson Beck you're going to see.
Right.
Is it the Carson Beck that throws 3 or 4 interceptions in a game, or is it the Carson Beck that was supposed to be the Georgia savior?
Right. Yeah, he seems to make really weird, like spectacular decisions, and then just like mind-boggling, scratch your head type decisions. I don't know where to put him in the ranks of, even the quarterbacks right now in the collegiate ranks. I mean, I have like 6 or 7 quarterbacks that are better than him, and I thought he would be definitely top 3.
Yep. I know we have to move on. I'll say one thing. Miami's defense, run defense, is ranked the top 10 in the country. SMU's defense, run defense, is ranked in the top 15 in the country. I know that you want to balance. I know you want a balance of run pass, but I see them trying to strategy wise is just to air it out.
Yeah, the over under is like 54.5, so they're expecting a lot of points in this game. So they're not going to be running the ball much at 54.5 if they're going to get that over. All right, we have the fourth game, the Georgia Bulldogs and the Florida Gators. Another, I think, intriguing matchup. But
world's largest cocktail party.
I wish I was there.
I don't know if you want to be there for this game. I could have picked a lot of other cocktail party games to go to rather than this year. It's like Ohio State, Penn State.
Yeah, that was so looking forward to that at the beginning of the season. But this is played at Florida, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
No, I think it's in a neutral site. I think it's a neutral site every year.
Oh, okay. I wondered why. Okay, that makes more sense. The Bulldogs, Georgia's favored by 7.5. That seems like an awful lot. What do you think of that spread,
Alan?
I think it's a lot, but whenever they have spreads that I think are just, I don't know. I won't say crazy because this isn't crazy, but I think it seems high to me.
I think
they seem to know more. You think it's low? I think it's hot. I mean, I
Look at
guess
Florida.
originally
Florida doesn't even have a winning record. Georgia's a top 6 team.
I thought, yeah, but Florida.
It's like an Ohio State, Michigan. Throw out the
I thought Florida
again.
was at home. In my defense, when I started talking about this or thinking about this, I thought Florida was at home. And a home game, 7.5, I think is too much. So maybe that is correct. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Florida, but I have a lot of friends here in the area that are just huge Florida fans, and I have to listen to it. So I always think they're overrated by their talk.
Well, they are this year. I mean, they have a very good defense, and that's it. They're like the Browns defense, though. That defense wears down over time when you're on the field way too much.
Yeah,
so they're going to
keep
it probably close in the first half, and then we'll see what happens in the second half. Another note: Billy Napier got fired before after their last game, so this is going to be the first game of the intern coach. But that
and that always those players, they know they're playing for their position, so that always seems to, at least the first half, that energy seems to be ramped up a little. So
right.
Maybe take
exactly where I was going with that. They all clapped and cheered when they found out that this coach was named the intern. So they must like him. They're going to play hard for him.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me they clapped when the coach got fired.
No, when Napier got fired, I don't know what they did then.
Well, if they're clapping for the new guy, I'm assuming they weren't clapping for the old guy. So, it's
I don't
like
know a lot about Napier. I think that college coaches just get the hook way too quick nowadays, and I have my theories on that. But time for another podcast down the road.
Well, the assistant coach is like the backup quarterback. Everybody loves him, So, we'll see what that. All right, the final game, and I say this is a top 5 game. Only reason being that Indiana just blows my mind. They are 21.5-point favorites over the Maryland Terrapins. Again, this seems like a lot. This is in Indiana is away, right? I'm correct on this.
Maryland.
Yeah, they're playing at Maryland, and 21.5 points. Man, it's just Indiana
is the number 2 ranked team in the country, even though
I know. I just
a lot of people don't want to believe it.
I can't wrap my head around Indiana being a top 2 team, and and I'm kudos to Indiana, and I'm happy for them. I'm happy for our buddy Adam. He loves.
I forgot about him. That's right.
Yeah, he went to Indiana, and he always says his heart's with Ohio State, but when Indiana is playing anybody else, he's a diehard. And we're talking about Adam Friedman. So I haven't talked to him about this, but it'd be interesting to get his take on how he feels they stack up, because I don't believe that. I don't know. If you put Ohio State and Indiana together, it just doesn't. It doesn't really. I don't know. It just doesn't.
One comment on that.
I feel like we'd crush them.
Yeah. One comment on that. I'm a homer, so to anybody that's not an Ohio State fan, I get it. You're probably sick of hearing about Ohio State, but there is a big gap between Ohio State and the rest of the field. Now, can anybody beat anyone on any certain day? Absolutely. I go back to when Miami of Florida was a big favorite against Ohio State's Jim Tressel team back in the early 2000s. Ohio State won. They had no business winning that game on paper. Willis McGahee, Ken Dorsey. I mean, the list goes on and on about of that stacked Miami team. But any given Saturday. Right. What I will say is, not a lot of people are probably sleeping on Indiana now, since they're the number 2 team in the country. I think they're the real deal. I think they have a phenomenal coach, although I think he's got, the guy has no personality, but I think he's an awesome coach.
I disagree with that. He seems to have a lot of personality. He gets people fired up. I don't know. Just Google him.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that quarterback, he's supposed to. They're
supposed to be
saying
very
he's
good,
projected #1 NFL prospect.
Yeah. People come and go so quickly in terms of prospects, though. I mean, look at Arch Manning.
Well, I mean, Arch hadn't done anything. This kid is spinning it all over the place. I mean, that's the only thing I think that would scare me being an Ohio State fan is that kid can throw the ball and he's accurate. His timing's good. If you don't, we would just have to be able to put pressure on him. I haven't seen anybody put real pressure on him yet. And I guess that's going to be the true test.
Iowa played them real tough, but Iowa's got a good defense as well. They have a very good team with a lot of top tier talent. What they are lacking is depth.
I knew you were going to go there.
Any one person goes down in any of those. I mean, they got a great defensive line, a great secondary, great linebackers. Any one person goes down, I'm not sure they can plug and play like some of the other bigger teams can, like your Georgias and your Ohio States and your Alabamas. But don't sleep on Indiana. I think they are appropriately ranked.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll find out. I don't know. I don't know how the Big Ten is positioned. Would we only play them in the Big Ten championship, or
I would find it highly unlikely if we didn't play in the Big Ten championship. I just booked my hotel room, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah.
So is that the only way we meet? Is it
Correct.
The Big Ten championship?
Okay. Unless it's sometime throughout the playoffs. But, even if, listen, we are more than double-digit favorites, we as in Ohio State, the rest of the way, except for maybe Michigan. And even if we lose to Michigan, which, gosh, I would hope to heck we don't.
Oh, my God.
There has to be a lot that happens that does not put us in that Big Ten championship game. And the same holds true for Indiana. They are going to be favored by far in every game that they play between now and the rest of the year. I cannot see the two teams. I can't see any other teams other than these two teams playing in the Big Ten championship. Crazier things have happened.
Speaking of Michigan, have you watched their quarterback?
Yeah, I followed him pretty much the whole year.
My buddy Joe Lepley just loves this guy. He thinks he's the next Joe Montana, matched with Lamar Jackson.
I'm more impressed with this Justice. I don't remember his last name. He's their running back. First name is Justice.
Yeah, he's really good.
If he gets the corner, he could be gone at any time. He seems to be very, very good. They're both young. I think they're both only going to get better, both as in the quarterback. But the quarterback plays much better, like most do, when they have a good running game. When they don't have a running game and he's forced to do things, he's still a true freshman. He's going to get better, but I don't think he's anything special yet. Now, can he be? Yes. I just don't see it yet.
I just had a screenshot of comments Joe Lepley just put in there. Go Blue.
Hey, Joe, I'm rooting for you, except for that game right at Thanksgiving weekend.
Well, we'll have more to say about that. I mean, I just hate to even think about that yet. The last few years we've really laid an egg. So hopefully we can turn that around. But all right, it's time for
keep engagement from everyone. Do you see any other questions or anything in the chat, Sal?
No, only one Go Blue. Thank goodness.
Okay, that's fine. I'd have to disagree with that one, Joe. Sorry, but let's move on to the picks just so we're not dragging this on and we're making it interesting for all.
Just one more from Joe Lepley.
Joe, I can go back prior to those 4 years if you want. I mean, we couldn't win a damn game when I went to school at Ohio State, but there have been peaks and valleys for both of us.
Yeah. Well, we might have to mute Joe.
It's okay. We accept them.
All right, so we're gonna pick
I
five
have an
games.
idea for a bet.
Okay.
So you had mentioned perhaps dinner. I think we take the monetary thing out of it because you know what, frankly, you can afford a dinner and it's not going to really put a hole in your pocketbook. And same with me. What I'd really like if I win, I'd like to look out my front door and see Alan washing my car. Maybe even videotape it. So why don't you pick what you want if you win this?
Oh, yeah, I can't remember the last time I washed a car. Is there a car wash near you?
That's nope. It has to be hand washed by you manually.
Oh shoot! Now that's funny. You made me belly laugh there. Okay, all right. I haven't put much thought in this, but I don't know.
I could do the same. You could video me as I'm washing your car.
I don't want that visual. To be honest with you. I have visuals of people washing my car. You're not one of them.
Well, it would be great if it would be like in the middle of winter.
That's a good point. Well, I'll save that for the since you had time to think about it. I'll save that for next week when we.
That's
we
fine.
get
It's
to
got to
pick
be
section.
somewhat comparable though. Like I'm not going and streaking in in the middle of London with 5 million people, okay?
Don't even talk about London. Last time you went there, you spent all week in the hospital. All right, let's wrap this up with the picks. The very first pick, we have Ohio State, Penn State, 20.5. I'll go first on this one. I just think Ohio State has too much. Penn State is reeling. I don't think they can really score. I'm going to give a bonus pick. I'm going to take Ohio State and the over.
Okay, so does that mean I have to pick the over and
No,
just one?
No, just one. It's just we're just picking the team against the spread.
Okay, so for clarification, the bet of whether we win or lose and the consequence of the loser, what they have to do, that's going to be a running total from this point until the end of the season, correct?
Correct. That is correct.
Okay.
And we're using the point spread that I have today. So
fair enough. Okay.
All right.
Al, I've got to agree with you on Ohio State. I want to disagree with you on just about everything. I can't. I don't even think Ohio State. I think they've covered every single game this year, if I'm not mistaken. So I can't go against my Buckeyes. I can't go against their undefeated record of covering the spread. And I mean, Penn State's got nothing to play for. I mean, if they couldn't get up for a game against Northwestern after the Oregon loss, after the UCLA loss, how the hell are they going to get up against the number one team in the nation?
Fair enough. Well, it's not a rivalry for us because we just spanked them so many times. It's still a rivalry for them. I mean, this is one of their they mark this on their calendar every year.
Yeah, but they don't have a calendar. I don't even know if they have a team anymore. That's how bad they are.
We thought it was. I don't even want to go there. All right, next game we have Texas and Vandy. I'm assuming Vandy is, or no, Texas is at home. Correct? I should have done that research, but I'm taking
Texas
Vandy
at home.
I'm taking Vandy in the points.
Okay, my pick is that Sarkisian is going to prove to the nation that he's focused on Texas football. Not the NFL, not at the LSU job. And Texas, I was going to say pulls off the upset, but apparently they're favorites. But I still have Texas in this game.
Texas -2.5. All right. Okay. Miami and SMU. Miami's favored by 11.5. Oh, you have to go first this time. I was supposed to.
All right. I think that Carson Beck overcomes 2 interceptions in a game where they win by 14 points, even given that he's going to have those 2 interceptions. So I pick Miami giving the points.
All right, 11.5. I agree with everything except I think Carson Beck has a monster game. I think he has 5 touchdowns. I think it's a blowout. I think they win by 25 points is what my guesstimation is, and it's not even close. It's over by the third quarter. So I'm agreeing with you, but I think Carson Beck has a monster game. 0 picks.
Okay. Fair
All
enough.
right, next one. We've got Georgia and Florida at a neutral site. We have Georgia minus 7.5. And
So
I'll let
I
you go
think
first.
this is too good to be true. And I know that you said that when you initially had your thoughts, you thought that Florida was at home. It's a neutral field, like you said. I think this spread smells to me. I think that normally Georgia should be whooping them by like 14 or more. Again, I know it's a rivalry game, but Florida has no coach anymore. So when it's too good to be true, I'm going to go the opposite way, and I'm going to take Florida with the points.
Florida with the points. All right. I've been going back and forth with this. I thought it was too many points to begin with. Now that I know it's a neutral fight or neutral site, I've decided to flip my decision. And I think the defense is just too good for Georgia. And I think they're going to dominate. And their defense may score 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to go Georgia.
All right.
Minus 7.5.
There's 2 that we disagree on so far.
Correct. Last game, Indiana, Maryland. We're at Maryland, 21.5 points. And I guess I'll go first on this one. I've always said the parity is besides a few teams, and maybe Indiana is one of those teams, is pretty even, and there's a lot of parity. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. And when you get a dog at home with this many points, and I know it's Maryland, I just think that's a lot. That being said, I'm taking Indiana. That's the points.
Okay. I hate to agree with you here, but I've got to pick Indiana too. I think that there are still non-believers from Indiana, people out there that do not believe in Indiana. I think that Indiana team knows that. I think Kirk Cignetti, their coach, is telling the players that they're not getting respected. And I think that they're going to put the gas pedal on, and it's going to be a 30-plus point blowout.
Well, there you have it. Okay, just to recap, we both have Ohio State. You have Texas. I have Vandy. We both have Miami. You have Florida. I have Georgia. And we both have Indiana. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, Sam. This was a good first session, and look forward to next week. And hopefully, I come in with a really good bet and a really good record. So,
hey, I want to give you an action item as we leave here, Alan. There was a lot of hold on, let me put this on hold. Let me put a hat on because I didn't know what we were doing on the front end. For the viewers that may want to catch this not live, is there a way you can erase like the first 10, 15 minutes of this so they don't have to deal with that?
Yeah, I am going to edit this. Sometimes it takes a while for me to get my edits done. So this is a learning curve for me. We got a new comment from Jeffrey Watts. Thanks for viewing, Jeff. Hopefully, I'll have it done before the next podcast. So, all right. Well, I'll wrap it up. Thanks for everyone who joined. Thanks, Sam, for bringing the information, and we'll leave us some comments that some things you like, some things you would like to see done better, and if you would like anything else addressed when it pertains to college football. If you have some questions or comments that you would like for us to discuss, we'd love to hear from you. So that being said, we want to thank our sponsor, the Wentz Insurance Agency. So Jared, I don't know if Jared's in the house, but we definitely want to go thank him. And if you need a free quote, call Jared. It doesn't cost anything. Sam is a customer, and we'd like to have many more. Thanks for that. And we'll see you next Wednesday at 6:00. You can follow all my podcasts at Run Good Lifestyle. And I will this Friday have my functional doctor on, and we're going to be doing a little talk about our my protocols, what I did for my testing, and what not really what the test said, but just what she does and how she's helped me get back my health and vitality. So join me on Friday. I'll send out the same information I did for this podcast. All right. Thanks and be kind.
Great job, Alan. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. See you, Sam.